it could truly be for them. But this one's a lot of fun. I hope you got popcorn because this one should be absolute cinema as we go into it. It is a FlyQuest roster that is a shock to be here in the lower bracket, to be honest, after they fell so early in that round 2. But FlashFire are a lower bracket team, a little bit of unknown coming through here to try to upset this big org.
Yeah, I mean, listen, with FlyQuest, there's a lot flying at you fast here, and we've got a good matchup. I'm excited. Obviously, guys, they made it to that final in the Invitational. They nearly, at one point, looked like they could win the whole thing, and you guys have a lot of names you know, you love. Look out for the great duelists here in Gaskin, just fantastic at the Tank Roll Vanguard with Spark Chief. Now, right away, we've got Wolverine going down immediately in the Protect there on Groot. Spark Chief has been loving his Groot, so I expect to see him play that.
Yeah, I think the Groot for Spark Chief has been just so pivotal. And there is a massive difference between Groot plays that we've seen in the tournament itself. I think Spark Chief has been one of those that we can kind of always keep an eye on. The second ban, though, was the Namor there for FlashFire. We'll see what that final ban for FlyQuest will be.
Yeah, you know what? Listen, the stakes are just so much more when you're facing elimination, especially when you're as good as FlyQuest, right? That, you know, they're telling themselves they're not even meant to be here. Like, how did this happen? And so they're going to be, I mean, look for them just to lock in fully. And we get another Psylocke ban. This is
okay.
I love to see
rising. It's
Yeah.
rising in priority. It's that angle play, that backline access that you can provide, and the pressure it gives you off of point as well. I'm looking at Light, though. I have to say, this man popped off yesterday and was having a heck of a show to kick off the weekend. I know that was on Spider-Man. Yeah. I know we've seen him on multiple different carries, but yesterday it lit like that one match, that one round was like a 1v9 from Light. I want to see if he's going to continue having performances like that for FlyQuest.
Yeah, they've been leaning a lot into, they did a lot of triple support. They love the res comp, and really the man that's kind of held with the responsibility is Light, and he does deliver. I talked to him massively after and extensively after the Invitational, and he just wanted to put on a show, and he did it, man. He put on a performance there, and I'm happy and excited to see them get the chance to do so again. Let me catch you up. Cooper Tastic is come on, I'm fantastic. Set myself up for it. But honestly, his Luna play has been some of my favorite. Look for him to be a bit more of a, not a duelist, but a damage leaning almost Luna at times, which is always fun to see. And Gaskin had probably the best Agamottos in the entire Invitational. We'll see if FlashFire has what it takes. And look at this comp. They're here to have some fun.
Yeah, we're going to see the Magneto sword whipped out early here to try to get, if they were trying to pressure in that early setup, and see what they actually end up going with that kind of duelist composition here. We got the portal coming in now.
Yeah, a lot of pressure early as they're trying to just raid from above, and usually it's coming from the other team, but love to see the offensive portal there used against them there, and FlyQuest with a nice little poke damage early, and that allowed a lot to happen. Just look at the ult charge. Heals got up to 30%, which is not bad, and the thing on the reset immediately, we now have Yang going over to the Luna from Scarlet Witch, so a full reset there on the comp.
Sos went down there too early. It just kind of popped his health bar there, but now we actually see the take from the left side of point, trying to use this angle that I've really loved a lot on this map because it just gives you so much breathing room as the attacking side.
Yeah, absolutely. This high ground is the best place to take. The middle is just so much fire, especially for the thing to take all at once. And the right is just too much of a closed space. So you're able to really work here in the angles. And Spark Chief putting up a lot of pressure early here on Metagross. Just there's nothing that they can do against the Groot in the walls. But Cooper Tasky, one hit and he's down. And the elimination coming from Metagross. That is one of the most important picks to get early. And this is, my goodness, one of the hardest points to get in the map as Light goes down with the Kraken impact.
And now you're in there with the man with the big right fist, too. You cannot get away from it. And that's just a full point push early from FlashFire.
Mazel, I've got to tell you, that point is not an easy one. I've seen people just hold there, and to have that kind of confidence against a team like FlyQuest, all the press, all the bright lights they've had lately, and they're playing great energy here, looking to make a difference. One of the youngest players in the entire pro scene, and showcasing that age is not a factor factor as Energy takes down the Hella trade and putting on a disgusting flank angle there to really open up his team's space.
Yeah, being able to pick him apart a little bit, but now we have everything go. We got the double dance party going through here, Cozy. A little bit of backline access as well there from Sos, but into the middle of the fight goes down Energy, and you have that reset now as the Fate of Two Worlds finishes.
Yeah, the Loki trade was awesome there, but keep in mind, as Hella gets eliminations, she reses Loki, one of the best passives in the game, team-ups in the game. And Light losing that Kraken impact early definitely slowed them down a bit in the ultimate trades, but right now they're actually looking pretty good and steady, having to back up a little bit and give some space. Light now activated with that Kraken impact, and they're going to look to potentially combine it here with Spark Chief and the Prison. Let's see where they go. Energy going from the back there, trying to get a beautiful pick here on one duelist, making two potentially. Just needs to finish strong, and he does. Energy going crazy.
His energy is peak right now, and he still hasn't got it to death, and he still gets a triple elimination here, making a quadra two. Maybe looking for even more. He's going to get the help of his friends, but it is a stop by FlyQuest.
Yeah, I mean, look at the ultimates we're about to have. I like to deem it the Michael Bay special. You got everything coming out here in just a moment. It's beautiful, and it's going to be chaotic as we see both Hellas in the sky, the trade and Kraken impacts. Get ready for it. Gaston trying to get up to speed and get that Agamotto online, because that's going to really give them the advantage. They have almost nothing to block that. If they're able to land that through Metagross and distract those bubbles, it's going to be a quick wipe.
Everything available for both sides. We're about to see the kickoff here, Cozy, as they get everybody into it. Zealous is trying to get in there as well. But you have that angle there. You have that second stage of fighting.
Yeah, wow. I mean, look at the trade there in the middle, being able to not only get a player down, but Light as of that is huge. It's the K-pop drop and the Agamotto that did not land how they planned it. That is unfortunate for FlyQuest as they need to retreat and back and get some space here. Metagross does have that meteor ready to drop and use it on probably Cooper-tastic, waiting for that trade. Stuck behind the walls. Great usage there from Spark Chief, separating the team, and most importantly, the heals. They're trying to go in, trying to get that damage. Gaston now protecting his team on the top side. Can they get the pick? Who will trade first? Energy is down.
Energy is down. Metagross is waiting for that meteor event if he needs to use it, but they have that front line from Sos, able to separate him, and the right hook is just too strong.
Wow, and luckily Cooper-tastic able to live through Metagross and that meteor in. That's going to give him a lot of time to fight, but my gosh, look at this performance from FlashFire, really putting on the pressure. Spark Chief going down, that's a massive pick, and there goes the second of Gaston. Both Vanguards are gone, they're in the spawn, they're done, and they're having to back up quickly, swiftly, as FlashFire is making a absolute heated performance to open up this matchup.
S76M is popping off right now on this Winter Soldier. It's been a key pick in the meta, but you also got to show that you can mechanically execute on it, and execute he did. They have a big push coming up here. A lot of time bought, but under 3 minutes to get this final push in.
They need to find their water to douse this fire, because it is flaming hot here as Metagross getting that early pressure, but taking a lot of damage. Nice backup. I love the play from Source there, able to get some nice things damage in without taking too much heat. Here goes. It's about to explode. We've got the fight happening in front of you with the trades of Winter Soldiers. We've got Energy going down. The BRB taking that Light, but look at, my gosh, the hell is taking it down immediately again. Light can get no lights. It's pure darkness for him right now in this matchup.
It is midnight at that point, and we'll see now as this push onto the final resting point is going to be the cause for FlashFire. I mean, they've got that fate of both worlds, but now you got the Goddess of Death coming online for Sticky. He just popped off as well and looking to save the point here too.
Yeah, it's looking bad because they had to use those ultimates to stall, so they don't have strategist ultimates to keep them up now, and you're just seeing them go one after the other. We've all been in this position in Rivals. You're just trying to beg for life as the life exits, and bam! I bet you no one saw it coming. FlashFire 3-0 on FlyQuest on a very hard map. FlyQuest is going to have to bring their best if they want to make sure they don't be eliminated.
They are indeed. You got to remember, this is a best-of-5 elimination season here for both these two teams. Definitely a lot more pressure on the side of FlyQuest with their organizational backing here between the team and the performances we've seen from them from that invitational. And I want to see if they can kind of shore things up and have a fastly, cleanly executed round for themselves to try to push the tempo onto FlashFire, because you never want to concede those 3 points, but we'll see if it's a wake-up call potentially for FlyQuest.
And I gotta really, I know FlyQuest well, know the players, they're great. I gotta say, this Hella has put up, I don't want to even mispronounce it, Stick It, I believe. I mean, they're doing insane work here. Great picks, important picks. And S76 has really been patient with their Kraken impacts and just those important picks. Source 2, I mean, he is just finding himself in the right position at all times here. And FlyQuest, I think they're shook a little bit and they're having to really reset, and you're seeing that Cooper-tastic flexing over to the Rocket, giving themselves a little bit more breathing room here and hoping that they can get an offense even close to what FlashFire had.
And that was a pretty swift take of that first point. Let's see if FlyQuest could actually match that to some extent here. But they'll be working on it. Not potentially going to have any weird angles. Maybe just going on this left side, just like what we saw earlier. That is the tried and true. They're going the long con here.
Yeah, Gaskin over on Magneto now. I like the switch over here. I think he plays fantastic there on Eric, the X-Men that everybody knows and loves. So they're pushing early, high ground, being stayed and sustained. Spark Chief going to close the door there with the walls. Nice job on the Ironwood wall there to get the healing up and the pressure down as the Thing is trying to escape from the early pressure. Energy now trading with the all-important pick in the Hella. That was a massive trade. Now Light's going to close the door and try to get the pressure on the stretches, taking them away from the Vanguards. Now everybody forced to back up. You just asked, Basil, will they get a capture as good? And that was dang near close.
It was dang near close. They had a really, really nice combo between Gastelin and Light, and now they're going to find more picks on those two. This long angle is not doing FlashFire any justice here, but that portal is not going to be enough. They take that first point just as fast, and now 5.5 minutes to work over this first phase.
Yeah, look for really the battle of the Hellas here as Light's getting nice staggering going on, because you got the revives and the Loki, and that's like the Rocket Raccoon pick. It's so important. Yeah. You stop so much momentum for these teams. Light doing a great job putting pressure on and being kind of a pseudo Vanguard as Star-Lord. Love to see what he's doing there. Now we have a Spark Chief ultimate going and not connecting. A little bit odd on the pressure, but I think he knew he could give it here as it's not too important of this fight. They're getting some nice push and distance here.
See if Energy can find an angle here, but he's playing very, very safe with the push that is coming through.
Keeps walls in the way.
Push. Yeah, he's just gonna get that fate of both worlds at least going through from FlashFire. Try to boost back on the point. The flank from Energy. He finds that again, and he's still over there causing trouble. Now we got the 1v1, and Stick It gets it.
Stick It, nice job responding there against the Luna. You know, it's not the trade you want with the support going down, but a good job to reset. Light, though, stuck on the wall, and he goes down on top, unfortunately. And you know what, though? I still think FlyQuest got what they wanted from this. They got a lot of push, a lot of pressure, and now they're looking to reset. Listen, they need to. They lost a lot of firepower there. They've got Energy on deck, ready to go. And if you look over on their side, FlashFire doesn't have too much coming. But Cooper-tastic, what did I say? The DPS Luna, as I'd like to call him.
He's just got a head clicker there, apparently, on this Luna, and now it's the repush from FlyQuest. They're finding picks here left and right. Already some KOs coming across. Light's trying to get in there, too.
Yeah, there you go, Light. That's what I like to see, buddy. I know what you're capable of. And listen, when you get kind of smoked 3-0 like that, you got to take risks, and we saw that. We saw that with Spark Chief using that imprisonment early, and look how fast he got another one, right? He was able to reload, relock, and now they've got plenty of ults going into this end cap. Minute 49 is what FlashFire got. They've got 5 minutes here, so a big difference on point 2.
Now we have the Goddess of Death for Energy. A lot of setup potential for FlyQuest moving forward. The biggest section is that big choke point here between the bridge, and trying to see if they can maybe save some of these, because everybody's about to have their ult.
Yeah, great double wall usage there. Look at this. He cannot get out. So much pressure there as S76 is trying to get to his team. Get that Kraken impact. He's about to get it. Needs a little bit more here as Stick It does have Goddess of Death, but I got to be honest, with that pick we just saw, Energy and Stick It are almost better outside of their ults as Cooper-tastic is going to take over the role of Hella.
He actually did it. Now you got the Meteor of It coming back with the Kraken impact. Is it going to be enough? The fate of both worlds. It's about to be the fate of FlyQuest pushing this one as they try to get over onto the other side of the fight, but now they have that re-push with the next one, and they're trying to get the angles out. Galactic Legend.
Yeah, those ults too going down early for the strategist, so they're going to have their backs against the wall, similar to what we just saw with FlyQuest. This is the perfect response. They said no fly zone. Nope, they've got the airplanes on full blast here as they push through Top Gun style, and we've got energy now going for it.
Look at the angle.
What I can't believe Bucky S7 tried to take that fight, does successfully get out of it. They do take out Stickit from that ultimate goddess of death. Light capitalizing on Magneto. It's now going to be the opposite. They're going to just try to stall the base they can. Thing taking loads of damage on Gaskin, about to get that meteor in. He's going to close with the sword finish, and this could be it. The last breath for FlashFire. They found the water, and they're trying to douse out the element of heat over here.
That heat's just too hot. Gotta stay out of the kitchen there. Here comes the fate of both worlds. Just desperation. But that wall is massive, and they will have over 3 minutes on their side of things.
Wow, I gotta say, listen, when someone struggles, someone else can step up so fast for FlyQuest there. They really adapted. Cooper, my goodness. I mean, that was like, you know, Adam's vision. That was essentially Cooper playing this DPS Luna, getting snipes after snipes. Huge picks there and great ultimate usage from the team. Proud of FlyQuest for coming back, but honestly, FlashFire, they're still all the way in this. Let's go underdogs. FlashFire's got plenty left, you know, to heat up.
The difference in the backing, especially, is what you look at, the structure behind these two teams and the backing of FlyQuest here of this roster. And it was a big contrast to what expectations were of this FlyQuest team coming in when they did lose in that second round. Now, that undefeated nature afterwards has been really nice to watch, but we have FlashFire in a very hotly contested lower bracket setup here. Yes, we still have a full best of 5 to go for, but this first game of the series has been living up to this chaos.
Yeah, Spark Chief doing a great job there. And the Groot, you know, having that Groot just gives them so much to work off of. I'm sure plenty of people know you can place 2 walls at once, just click and drag, and that's just so much momentum and pressure, and most importantly, stopping all the heals coming from the opponent here. So as we do always, we're going to see the early portal. A lot of teams like to use it right away because they can use it again if things go bad. Only a minute 49 here. That's going to be a tough cap to have, and almost lines up perfectly with that portal. We'll have to see. This is going to be a tight one, though.
This is going to be a tight one. I'm very curious at the angle that they, or at least the approach they choose to take here once they get in. It's just waiting along. I can feel the anxiety here as we build into it. We're going to see a little bit of push on the other side, though, as they move back to the point.
Ooh, kind of portal baited in there. They were all over their way. Zealous popped all the clones, and then bam, they come from the high ground, and it's almost the same fight we saw in round 1 as we have. Ooh, Heels get a nice pick on Light. That was unexpected, and honestly, Light going in for that elimination, little risky, but Gaston picking up the slack a little bit as he gets the pop of the AoE from Doctor Strange.
That's 3 down already against FlashFire. They're about to find more picks as well. And now they're a little bit staggered. This is playing towards FlyQuest's benefit.
This is going to be tough because the ultimate charge as well, right? Not only do you lose the first fight, but you also lose all that charge up. And it's going to be really tough to come back when you've got 48 seconds. They save the portal for the back end here. It's going to pop on the high ground. Cooper-tastic. Look at this flake route. Look at this. Luna. I love it. You love
That's a damage strategist player right there. I love to see it.
Heck yeah, man. As this fight commences, Spark Chief is going in right away. 75% is just building up so much ult charge from these Thorin last walls. Able to get that thing skyrocketing. Is going to look to get the imprisoned early. And we'll see if S7 can respond with a Kraken.
Yeah, he wants to get the resets here. He's about 85%. Stick it on the edge, on the outside, looking for the pick. Gets one. That's a huge one as they try to get the angle now as well. Stick it still mounting pressure on Cooper-tastic. On the rest of them. Needed one more as he couldn't get it. And now he's taken down as well. Will no longer have the angle here, Cozy.
Yeah, huge patience here. Look at the double, the imprisonment into the Agamotto. Oh, it's rough out there for FlashFire. Gotta say, really nice peel there for Light. You saw Cooper-tastic actually got 2 tapped almost narrowly. That would have been a completely different fight if Cooper was out of it. They didn't have the Luna. That could have been actually the point. But Light with the peel, so important to keep them alive and get rid of honestly, who I think has been a very good Hela in their trades, and altogether been fun to see Stickit and what he can do. But that's a good hold. I expected it. They've got a lot more time to cap here.
The positioning's been really fun to see from FlyFire because they're willing to throw kind of these odd angles at FlyQuest, and that's really what got them that early advantage in that first round. But now it does feel like FlyQuest, akin to what 100 Thieves did earlier, have woken up and found the beast inside, it feels, and now they're going to stick with that very similar composition moving forward.
Yeah, they adjust well. They've been here so many times before. They were Team Euphoria a long time ago. They've been playing. I've been a fan of this team since really just early alpha, and it's been fun to see them adapt to the metas, to each other, and get to know how they play. When you play in a big stage like the Invitational too, especially the Grand Finals, you really find out who you are, especially leaving there with a defeat. Maisel. So I'm excited to see them. But listen, FlashFire, they've got some players on this team. I gotta say, they can really, if they hold here, I mean, that's gonna be a huge way to open up the set.
Yeah, the biggest battle right now for me in seeing who gets that kind of arm wrestling power forward is Energy versus Ticket. I think finding those angles as Hella is so important. You see how much impact you can have if you find those picks in the key moments, especially on the strategists in the back line. But look at this setup. They're going to take the high ground, and they're just going to throw everything here for the point, because all that FlyQuest need is one phase of the cap.
Yeah, one small tick there, and they don't have to play Doctor Strange right now either because of so much time, which is actually nice. They can stick to the comp that they've had. They don't have to worry about the portal, which just completely changes the set there for Gasklin. Now pushing in early in the middle, just like they did last time, and they have to nail every shot, every poke, and hope to capitalize. As Coopertastic healing up the back team, almost getting Spark Chief to an uncomfortable area, but able to rotate down. Doing a good job holding down the fort here and not letting them get any pressure. It's going to come down to that one pick from Energy, from Light, or S7-6 on Spark Chief.
Yeah, Spark Chief finding a little bit of an early knockout there, and that's a big tool here as we get the 1v1.
Oh my god! Hey, what are we talking about? We were saying last match we loved the Vision, or the Hella v Hella with Vision and Brady, and now Stick It and Energy have something to say about that, because this has been fun to watch them two go at it.
Yeah, I mean, they heard me talking about how Vision and Brady is my new matchup to watch for duelists, but now they're making it known that they want some of that too. And this is a really big moment around the edge here to buy time, be reserved, have that confidence that you have plenty of time for FlyQuest.
Yeah, Cooper does have that ultimate, but they're going to both have, this is going to come down to who utilizes their ultimates better here, because everyone's going to have what they need in store when they approach this last fight. And there's a minute and 50 left, but this will tell you everything you need to know on if this tick is going to happen or not. They do have the portal they can use. You've got some tricks up the sleeve, but they want to win it right here, right now, as they're moving closer to the point. Don't have to respond. Zealous going with the immediate copy, and we're going to have the fate of both worlds happen on both sides pretty quick. And look at, here we go.
Here we go again.
The duel of fates.
It's not fair.
Before, and it's the same story. Stick it, taking down Energy.
He had a little bit of help that time, and sometimes all you need are some friends. As the true lesson is learned, we see the push for FlashFire coming in. Fate of both worlds is there, but the strangle is in there too. Meteor Man on the double dunk from Gasklin.
We have seen Gasklin with some sick Vanguard ultimates, and that was just a testament. They're using a great ults here, good patience. Coopertastic was able to keep everybody alive through the Kraken impact. Very important. Look at Gasklin just sweeping it up here with the magnetic projectiles, going crazy. Light to finish the job on Legendary. They're doing everything they can to hold off the point, but it's going to be a little too late. Fantastic first map from FlashFire, but it's been put out by FlyQuest.
FlyQuest silence a little bit of the chaos that was starting to rear up in this series. This best of 5 will start to lean the way of FlyQuest, but it was something where FlashFire gave him a little bit of a wake-up call to start that round out, and I'm very curious if that adaptation to style is going to be there for FlashFire to try to push this one even further. I don't want another 3-0. That's all I'm saying, Cozy.
Listen, okay, I gotta say, when there's so many roles that get highlighted in this game, but Coopertastic, the reason I opened up, first of all, let's just casually look at the 60,000 healing on him. Cooper makes strategist roles stand out and is absolutely making a name for himself. Everybody did a great job here, but want to highlight just how insane that healing is from the Luna. And altogether, how cool is it that we get to see now the first match open up? We have grand finals. There was 100 Thieves versus FlyQuest. You open up at first, you get Boom almost taking 100 Thieves to the very end of Midtown, and it just happened here. We just saw another 3-0, but the grand finals teams, both of them were able to turn things around a little bit. What was your favorite thing that you saw from that match?
That headshot from Coopertastic across the map was pretty nice, and exactly as we were talking about him too. For me, when you go back to the kind of Coopertastic point, it has been the consistency of this player for me that finds it a lot, because we see some fluctuation in exact star performances a lot of the time to start off with a lot of these big name teams, but it's really nice to see him consistently finding advantages for FlyQuest.
Yeah, we got to give him his flowers. We've talked so much about Light and so Zealous and Insane, Adam Warlock, Asklin, but, got to give some love there. Spark Chief, great player. But, guys, let's go ahead and see if maybe we see that headshot here as we go into the highlights. What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Hope your energy is up because we've got more energy on deck. And I've got to ask you, man, really great first round. FlashFire, they brought it right away. Tell me the difference makers, though. It comes down to a couple of things, players and decisions. And I think right now we've seen the story between Stickit and Energy. What other players are you looking at here?
That was been fun to watch. They've been literally just hounding each other around rocks here. But I want to see at least S76 have a little bit more consistency in what power he's bringing to the table, because you have to have that dual threat composition against a team like FlyQuest, because they're all going to be on their P's and Q's. And now we're into these bans. Here we see that Adam Warlock banned away by FlashFire to take away the triple res comp.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think there was times where he really flashed, right? Like the fire that they are. But to see what they can lock down. Now, we do have, with Adam going down and Wolverine to follow. Listen, S7 could show us, at least me and you, our first Spider-Man action outside of the very brief window opening there, I think, from Shroud X at the end.
True.
From Vision. But the group protect coming in for Spark Chief, we saw that again, and it worked for them, because I don't think FlashFire played Groot at all.
I'd be very curious to see if they actually do end up going for it as well. I'm just saying, I don't know if you want to bring out the Spider-Man against Light after what he did yesterday. I think you're begging to get the gauntlet thrown down and see if you can go mano a mano there. But we have that Venom ban in the last ban by FlashFire.
Yeah, that right there shows you they did the homework. This is FlyQuest. This is Light's favorite, at least one of his favorite maps for Spider-Man and Vision, especially to open up here. Venom is tough, man, on these walls to open up. So that was a smart ban, not to go for Spider, but to go for him. And ladies and gentlemen, I've seen you wanted it. You've seen a lot of Bucky boards. All right, I heard you guys wanted to see other heroes. Well, they heard you too. Bucky's gone, and they're shutting down. S76, that was who he was playing well on. But Flash did protect Namor that he went to, so they almost, it worked out perfectly for them.
Yeah, it's an adaptation. And honestly, if that first series of plays didn't work out, I do want to see that kind of adaptation going further, especially going into that next map. I think it's going to be a little bit of a different take, where FlyQuest looked really good when they were pushing pressure, and you're going to have to deal with that this entire time now on this map. Yeah,
for sure. And this is always it can be a bit more of the dive heavy map, obviously, with the things that kind of close down there. We're not going to see as much of it. We will see the turret Regatta here from both teams, as it's just too good to pass up, right? The team up alone, but also got to treat this as a dom point at the beginning. What have we seen all day? It's Namor, and it's the turrets just firing away. And so pretty close comps here, all together. And the only difference being the Doctor Strange instead of Groot.
Yeah, I still think that portals on this map are so lethal. And even though you kind of know where it's coming from every single time, I do want to see if they use that to kind of preemptively get a good push here. You have to watch where the setups of these kind of minions are going to be for Light, where he gets the early damage here on this long lane.
Oh, I love that placement for the turrets there. You got good headshot fall from the Tritons for those turrets to go, hyper mode, Super Saiyan mode. And yeah, I love the portals on this map too. I guess they're going to maybe potentially save it for the last stand here. They could go with it early, but they're going to take the Main Street USA here as they go up the middle path in the NA Marvel Rifle Championship. We have Zealous on the top. One of my favorite Loki locations here, and Light getting an early statement there on Stickit. That's going to slow down everything.
It is indeed, and I think you just have to work through this little choke point that is here. And you see, though, also, Sos has an upper hand angle on the top side, trying to push that one, too. But this is difficult.
Yeah, Sparky there with the Derek Jeter throwing the moss ball from across the map, and he gets the finish. My gosh, Spark, that's why they protect that Groot in the first place.
Yep.
Getting the sprays down, resetting. Here comes that portal. You know, they wanted to try the first path, but here's the problem now. Look how much ult charge you gave to the opponent's team. They have a little bit more on their Luna, so look for that to pop early, but this is about to close quickly here as
wow.
Heels has the Loki copy as well.
Okay, they take this upper entrance here. They're gonna have to fight tooth and nail. They have both shields up here so they can provide some long distance siege with S76. They gotta be able to land the shot. They gotta get this pressure onto FlyQuest.
That looks like the server admin over there just popping the symbiote bridge, trying to walk his team over. Shut down from Spark Chief's Waldo. That was honestly just like awesome micro play from both teams. You love to see just how important positioning is on this map. The turrets under the cave here is going to come in handy as S76 takes out energy, and Spark Chief is forced to use his walls to shut down the turrets. Instead of protecting the upfront team, he has to use it though. Here comes the imprisonment with the slam dunk, but unfortunately it hits the strange shield, so he's unable to capitalize on the wombo combo. Light though is picking up there on the missed opportunity with the whale. The Moby Dick does not land, and unfortunately a lot of ultimates there with no finish. And that is a rough way to start.
That is a rough way to start. They're going to lose this first push here very handily. And guess who it comes off the back of? Stick It, hitting some pop shots there and finding a couple kills. This long distance damage composition between the Hela and the Namor has been really fun to watch for them so far on this first point.
They did a good job trying to combo their FlyQuest, but ultimately none of them landed. So you got to give Source, his flowers there for getting that shield perfectly to block what was going to be, honestly, a triple kill, at least triple elimination from the Groot imprisonment there. Now the fight up on top here, early pressure going in as Energy has to land it, does, and Stick It goes down. We've seen the duel, it's back, baby. And now it's going to be, honestly, snowball here as they're able to clean up the defense. They have the ultimates ready to back up for the next fight, and it's going to be close. This is going to be a good one coming up.
Energy is also in the same ticket as Stick It there so far. Now we're going to get another 1v1 here. They're just trying to get a little peek around the corner, but the push is still there. You got to figure out if they're going to be able to kind of get back onto this point. The angle is always awkward with these stairs here.
I hate this spot. And this is such a tough spot because there's just no good placement. It actually gives the defense such an edge here. Look at Zealous from downtown. Healing has a good clone placement, so they're not going to be able to disrupt them, so the healing's going to be at maximum. Will, he's going to have to use a clone for the Lancers, but Sparky taking down the Doctor Strange is going to allow everything else to go into place. Dude, look at, they still have the ultimates. They're fine. They're just getting picks.
I mean, both FlashFire and FlyQuest just baiting and holding here. It's the middle of the levitation. He goes down. Energy has now taken both carries down, and they're going to have to get a repush now. I mean, this has been so much time spent on just this first little choke point.
It's exactly what we saw with the 100 Thieves. They took that first map personally, and they're like, all right, we'll show you a defense. Look at Sparky going in with the imprisonment almost by himself, but Energy with a nice follow up there. Light on the counterflank with the turrets. Oh my gosh, look at that beautiful placement there. Energy forced to respawn and use the bird early here. Does have the Goddess of Death if things get sticky. Nope, using it early. Throwing down the crows, getting rid of the turrets. That's going to make a massive difference here. Light trying to take down the opposition of the Hela, and this is going to go probably early to FlyQuest, but no, you've got the Fate of Both Worlds saving everybody, keeping them up. But here's the response. The other Fate of Both Worlds happening from Cooper-tastic right on time. Fantastic. And this fight's going to prolong.
I love it. Now they're going to back off after they realize that everything's falling. Light had the flangle on this Namor. Oh, the high Agamotto.
Wow. There it is. Beautiful closing there with the ultimate whale. Just getting what you want from it. The double piece and Stick It, using the thorns to finish off the job there. Great response. FlashFire there, where it seemed like nothing was going right. They were able to ignite and get the fire going.
DP is going to be used to block off a bit of a resurgence that could come from FlyQuest. I like that heads-up play from Sos, just using a little bit of peeking out there to see what's going to be coming their way. But this is the next point that becomes really difficult. Transitioning from the inside to the outside on this point can be a problem, especially against FlyQuest composition.
Yeah, the spawn is just so close. You have to really be clean with all of your picks here. Light getting a nice job there, using the turrets to the best of the ability, taking down the Hela early. Can't go down if you're sticking there. But S76, like we said, we wanted to see him show what he's made of there, but a huge imprisonment, that's going to be bad. That spells death.
That might just have strangled them out of this fight, and now you actually have the reposition from Energy up top to try to pick some members off as they retreat. But that's been multiple big saves, multiple pushbacks from FlyQuest in this round.
Look at the stagger job right here. This is so mean. This is the most coordinated
so
play you'll
ruthless,
see.
Man.
That is as coordinated a play as you'll see in the pros. Just letting the Magneto, the most important Vanguard on that team, to keep the fight going. Just toying with them. Feels bad, but here we go. Gasca now almost close to the Eye of Agamotto. He's going to be able to defend from an impending Automogo from Source here. We've got the fate of both worlds. It's the dance party Coachella happening on the floor right now. Eye of Agamotto ready to go. He's going to patiently wait it out. There's the damage. There's the block. He's going up. He's got to block the Goddess of Death. There's the Agamotto from Source. Did they get a connection? No. Energy trades the heals. This is going bad for FlashFire. They're going to have to really make it up here in the end as Energy going for the back flank. Is he going to be able to save the team from the impending meteor? And just like that, the battle prolongs but not prolonged. Ooh.
Melee ranged attack there. Light taking down his counterpart in S76, and now Energy is picking up the pieces for FlyQuest. Goddess of Death has been summoned, and again taking those nades, jotting them down, and FlyQuest dominating.
Yeah, I've got to say, you know, we actually did see S7 pick it up there. He did a great job as Namor. It just, unfortunately, the cards, when you have a Magneto coming back 40 seconds after the rest of the team, that's a tough thing to live up right now. But great job there from both teams. I think, you know, FlashFire, again, they're great at starting out super aggressive, and they come with just that spark you're looking for there. And speaking of sparks, though, man, his wall placements and honestly, those ultimates have been insane.
It's so good. I mean, there's a reason why they protected it, right? There's a reason why they give this man the chiefdom here on the Groot, and everybody will be Groot after he is done with this one. But this is also a situation where, like you had said, I really like the initial strategies from FlashFire. You can see they have a game plan coming into it, but it's just that mechanical difference, right? Like when you're going up against would-be top teams like FlyQuest, who are in the lower bracket seemingly out of nowhere, and you're trying to go for this hella v hella, this Namor versus Namor, it just becomes so difficult when it's the names of Energy and Light on the other side.
Yeah, 100%. And it's almost like we're seeing them just like empty everything they have in that first push, and then the momentum is tough. This is just like sports. This is very much a game of momentum and just being able to keep the gas down, and they've been great at that. They've actually shown that really well here. Boom did the same thing earlier, just not letting go. You get the first point, great, push forward, but unfortunately that first hill, that stop really did not set them up for success.
Pickett gonna have to find those positions, get a little bit of early damage down as well. S76 getting some pop shots into. It does look like FlyQuest want to go around the wayside.
Yeah, you know, this is a common path we've been seeing here on this map. It definitely helps when you've got the Groot walls to get you up there. They're trying to go here from the back as Spark Chief is going down early and pretty low with his health, able to stay alive. There is plenty of abilities, key abilities being used. Bubbles, now lanterns, but Spark Chief getting, Metagross going down, and Energy taking S7, the wind out of the sails.
Oh man, they're taking that momentum you're talking about. Stick it on the back. Can he get it? One more, and it's gonna go the way of Energy in the solo. Now they're pushing back onto the base here, at least onto the point, trying to find the setup around that entrance that is FlashFire's only way back to the point at this point, and they're finding picks on the other side of the wall. Man, this just isn't fair.
Man, when you have a front line like Spark Chief and Gasklin, those two just set the standard here. Everybody on this team is great, but they really are making a big impact here in this difference. The pressure and the space that's being provided here, and honestly, the attention, the most important roles for Vanguards is evident here. And then here's Cooper Tastic doing what he does best. Get a nice little snipe healing. You know he wants a piece of the pie here for the damage. He wants to get a little something going in. 50K healing last match. He's ready to get more.
He wants to focus on the damage as best as possible there, but it's also kind of that continuation of, you didn't see him around the sideline. Gonna have to find a way out of that one, but can't do it. Meanwhile, Metagross does get a pick of his own.
Oh, yep. Bubble goes up, but only for temporary relief as he goes down. Light's done, and they get 2 important picks here. And look at, they're going to be stuck in that same kind of area that we just saw. So this is their moment to be able to respond. Stickit needs to land these shots on Cooper-tastic, but unable to get the stagger. A little bit late there on the Thorns, but still great defensive hold here. And if you look at the ultimates, they're kind of ready to go, but this is going to be chaos as both teams are fully loaded.
The horde of Proteus, remember I said at the 44-pound or ton whale being ready to go. As we're seeing the round the corner is this fight, the kind of choke point. Here comes the Agamotto.
Wow, great save there from what was going to be devastating. Energy does go down, but that was as good as an eye as you can get. But everybody kept alive there from Cooper-tastic there. As now they are just going wild. Light took that death personally last time. Takes down Stickit. Going for the flank Namor here. He's going to go up and above and going for the Loki. Does one little trident on the way. What a use of the pacing here. And there it goes. He's trying to get something rolling. Gaskin with a full Agamotto. He is just ready to pop it. And does get the hit there on a 7. And that's all you need in the Agamotto is one elimination to get things rolling.
Well, that's all you need. You can keep pushing and Stickit gets the counter play here. He's got a really nice angle on this second level of the fight. Takes down Spark Chief as well. Meteor of him not going to get anything because of those ruins, but maybe setting up Stickit to finish up the fight for FlashFire.
That was actually a big trade. Spark Chief used that imprisonment. No follow-up. Did die right after that. That's tough. On top of that, Gaskin, Eye of Agamotto was used. So now their 2 setup combos have been utilized. They got 3 minutes, but at least for the initial fights coming up here, it'll be a lot tougher to get the team wipe.
I think I wouldn't mind seeing FlyQuest play a little bit more reserved since they do have so much time, but trying to figure out their angles to get energy in here. Look at this play. Look at this play. They're going all the way around the left. They're keeping energy on this long angle here to keep it. But look on the other side. Stickit wants to take down energy.
Stickit's got like a tracker on energy, just always knowing where he's at. They, great flank here, but he knows where to go for. We got the Eye of Agamotto coming out from Source, and they unfortunately not able to capitalize as Zelos gets a huge counter trade there. That's going to be rough. Now we have energy going in a great kind of flank angle of the Goddess of Death, trying to get that constant pressure on. Now Stickit is going to return the favor up in the skies, trying to make it a fly zone of his own and take down FlyQuest. Light in the back, just throwing out the turrets, throwing out the pressure, and Cooper-tastic keeping the team alive here. This is a close one, and there it is. There's the whale, the 44-ton-pound pressure coming on you.
Incredible stuff and really well layered in that moment from FlyQuest to get this push. I mean, this is the only push they need. They didn't even make it outside for FlashFire, and FlyQuest looking to go 2-0 up in this series. They're going to play back, wait for this portal, and look at the last desperate engage here from FlashFire.
Oh my gosh, and Gaskin going into the portal with the Eye of Agamotto. That was legendary. Energy and Light to follow up. What a call out. What a play. Energy's left on the other side of the map. Fantastic job there with the aggression of the Eye, but Metagross and Stickit return the favor. That's going to be tough to come back from, but nope. Just like that, FlyQuest gets it done.
Wow, that was one of the most innovative play calls here in these tight moments that I've seen as of late. And of course, it's FlyQuest that pull it off. They will take this round and move 2-0 over FlashFire.
Yeah, you want a portal? Okay, we'll come in with the full freaking Fist of Fury there in the Eye of Agamotto, and good job with the DPS to follow up there. Really well done. Again, FlashFire, same result. They came out, firing on all cylinders, and then unfortunately weren't able to get past the point in which FlyQuest took advantage of. Great job all around.
Yeah.
I got to say, man, Gasklin has just been insane in every match I've watched. He is. I gotta say, he's probably one of the best vanguards in this game. I can say that with confidence.
Imagine saying that and then also having Spark Chief right next to that. That is the crux that this FlyQuest team is built off for me. Yes, you get some really good moments from other members, but to have this solid front line that is constantly pushing pressure onto enemy teams, but also finding that spacing between them, you can see the difference making.
Yeah, for sure. Because a lot of the other roles, they're close, but I'm telling you, those vanguards, that front line, because what is front line as well? Well, it sets up the combos, and outside of the one that I pointed out, most of them have been flawless. We just saw it with the Eye of Agamotto right into, the heat of the flame. They go into the heart of the fire there. They're not afraid of it. They want to make everything a fly zone at this point. So great job. They're up 2-0. We've seen now back-to-back 3-0s. I know FlashFire doesn't want to be a part of it. We're about to get to that action. But first, let's check out the highlights. What's going on, guys? Welcome back yet again. We've got a 2-0 on our hands, but can FlashFire honestly escape elimination here? FlyQuest has brought the heat, and mainly through the Vanguards, they're going to have to look to stop them in some way, and I expect it to be in the pick ban phase.
Yeah, the Fly Zone may have taken over all of Marvel Multiverse here at this point. They are just extending that pressure, and it's been off the back of some very strong individualistic performances, but primarily, man, it's that front line. We said it before we went to break, and we have to continue harping on it because this combination of Spark Chief and Gasklin has been second to none, even in this lower bracket.
Yeah, great play from all around. I know FlyQuest, their backs against the wall. They weren't expected to be in elimination. We know they would bring everything they had. And Flash is playing great. It's coming down to a few key fights, matchups, and honestly, early picks. I think Energy is setting the team up for a lot of success here with the early plays that he's able to get done as well. So kind of phenomenal job all around. And we go into the last of it in domination. Round 3. And look at that. Groot. First ban up, they're going to shut down Spark Chief and what he's done.
I love it because he's still got it highlighted as well. Not going to have that one this time around, so I'm going to have to change up that strategy. But maybe that makes them even more terrifying. We'll have to see exactly what they want to go with the kind of double front line here for them. But it's the Namor actually banned away by FlyQuest on their side of things, and the Protect of the Adam Warlock. So the triple res comp is alive and well.
Yeah, it's going to force the last band to go towards Mantis, maybe Star-Lord. Love the Namor pick because that's the often domination GOAT, right? We've seen that now map over map. And so at this point, they don't want to deal with it. I think it maybe is a small tip to S76, but we've seen Light play Namor, fantastically as well. And so it'll be fun to see who picks what. We didn't have Winter Soldier last, but we have him now. Get ready to hear the word. You hear it in your sleep, in your nightmares, again.
Literally all the time. It is ingrained in my brain. Anytime somebody says again, it could be in a passing conversation, it could be randomly shouted out. That's all I think about is Bucky Barnes. Thank you, Marvel Rivals. We are in the Star-Lord band here for FlashFire to kind of finish off some of that damage focus for them. I do wonder, okay, it's going to be the Psylocke. I was wondering if maybe we get a change up in the Duelist band, but no, it's going to be the Psylocke yet again. A rise in band prominence here today.
Yeah, and this is the story you don't get to see. Like one of these, these players could be the GOAT on Psylocke, but they know that. So they get to use that band. That's what makes Marvel so interesting. And I've been waiting for this. I have been waiting for some dive. I've been waiting for Tobey Maguire, for a little bit of lights playing Spider-Man. We've got Tom Holland. You got plenty of, but you have to
choose whichever one you want. That's the beauty of it.
Andrew
the multiverse.
Garfield. Yeah, exactly. They've all been together at one point, but man, I've been waiting for the dive comp to come out, and look at that. We get to see the new orange Venom.
By the way, I copped that immediately. That thing is so cool. The colors, but also the flexibility and the pass. By the way, it's a huge shout out to that because it's a lot of bang for your buck. But getting this orange skin debut, but also, again, alongside Light Spider-Man. The dude 1v9'd yesterday in that earlier matchup. I'm very excited to see him go at it again this time around.
And we're only a couple days away, but we've got a Venom emote coming next week.
Oh, yeah,
and
baby. I can't wait. I've got a timer on my phone, by the way. I'm ready for it.
You got the dance floor on, and all you need is the Venom to bring the bop. All right, so here we go. We've got ourselves oh, look at this. Light, you better stay Spider-Man, okay? Oh, they're going with the early portal. I like this.
They are.
Gonna get nice aggression early, and here we go. We've got Venom on Metagross's side. Spark Chief going with the Venom because he doesn't have access to the Groot, and things are starting right away as he dives in, gets the slows out, and puts the pressure on early, and return the favor is with Metagross as well. A lot of Venom play to get us going, and wow, Energy taking down Stickit to get this fight started.
Yeah, I mean, an early pick is massive, especially against that extra damage combination. And now we see that it's actually FlyQuest having to play a little bit more reserved off the backside of the fight. But here comes Light to try to get those combos. You see the double dive coming through.
Nice adjustment there, too. Going after Loki's always tough. And look at that mid-air fist. Wow. Going after Loki can be tough because he has, the lanterns to fall back on. He can, get out of there. He can put the clones down. But he was able to still utilize his abilities perfectly. And there's your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Not so friendly anymore.
Not so friendly, and I don't even care which one of them it is. They all look good now at this point. Light has been a monster on this one, and we don't even need to take the mask off. Now, he's going to be getting that spectacular spin charged up here soon, and a big impact potential for FlyQuest to push yet another fight.
Not to mention one of the best ultimates in the game with Spark Chief and Venom going crazy on this symbiote, and this Hella Stick is gonna have a tough time with all this dive going at her. All angles. Here's Spark Chief getting around, trying to get a little bit of healing. The orange goo, it's looking crazy as he's going for the backside, getting open, hopefully with this ultimate for Venom, and the follow-up should be enough to get the job done. Oh, this is just me hunting the prey.
Despicable. You're despicable,
There it
man.
is. It's like Discovery Planet, Discovery Channel. You get to see the animal stalking its prey there, and Energy taking it down, and this is tough to watch.
This is tough. Now the wombo combo of Energy and Light really being felt. Spectacular Spin still up and available. Can look for it, but now they're just pushing into the spawn of FlashFire. Already over 60% on the point drop here as well.
Light, come on, man. I'm going to talk to you after this
fair.
because I love it, man. I love when this man's playing Spider-Man. He's always bringing a good show. Look, Stickett's got to switch. I mean, at this point, get your goddess to death and maybe go somewhere. It's so tough to play that role right now. Yes, you can get the 2-tap on Spider-Man there, but not this one. This one's too fast.
And no more, which typically really good at those dives, antis. Oh, there's the spectacular spin, and he's spinning all over them, Cozy. My goodness, he just is again 1v9ing this game.
Like Oprah, you get a web, you get a web. Everybody gets a web, and that was perfect timing. The ult by itself is okay, but with team follow-up, that thing can absolutely wipe, and we just saw it there. Perfectly well done, and honestly, I don't even know if a sweat broke off Light and the rest of the team as they were able to very much handle the opposition there as we head into throne room.
I'm just I'm still perplexed. I mean, that was completely one-sided, but this is the story we've seen from these organizational teams. This was the story we saw earlier with 100 Thieves. This is the story we now see with FlyQuest, and there's a reason why we've had 3 zeros back to back and to potentially back here.
Yep, and we're seeing the switch happen now. Unfortunately, Stickett's going to be going now over to Winter Soldier. You have S76 going to have to help on Wolf to maybe try to counteract a little bit of this Venom, but Light is the true animal. I know S76 is Wolverine, but there's a new predator out there, and his name is
Apex
Light.
Predator is a spider. I'm terrified, honestly. Nightmare fuel.
Absolutely, yeah, right. You have Winter Soldier giving people nightmares, but again, Light's like, no. All right, how about a little arachnophobia there with the spider?
You're gonna be saying, you get a web in your sleep, and I don't want one. I don't think FlashFire want those webs anymore.
I'm good with it. This map is a tough one, man. This is one map I'll tell you what, this is always interesting. All right, we've got ourselves the teams going up high ground. Some people will choose to go right to the point. Both teams taking the high approach here as S7 is trying to get the really much needed kidnap. They have cooperating time to open things up. They should open right away with it if they can here, and there it is.
They need an angle, though.
Yeah, teams separate a little bit as they're trying to go for the dive pick and unable to get anything going at that initial approach.
Okay, now they actually have to offset this, maybe transition over the point. Look at Spark Chief. He's been playing with their mental here as he's looking for backline access now, too.
Yeah, here's the We Are Venom. This is going to open up. Oh, just single-handedly on Stickett.
He's feasting.
Poor Stickett is what I got to say, because, he switches heroes and it doesn't go the way he wants. Spark Chief is going to get hit by Clobber in time. Nice Magneto bubble there from Gaskin. They'll love the play to see the nice team synergy. They're being forced back into this room. It's not a good spot for them because Energy going at it, but Energy does go down, actually. BRB bringing them back, but beautiful response there from the Luna.
Yeah, and S76 able to do some work on this Wolverine. So as well with the right hand snacks, but it's still that fate of both worlds here coming through to save the day. Cooper Tastic gets taken out by Stickett.
The Hulk says, you won't like me when I'm angry. Stickett's like, you won't like me when I'm angry. We just watched this man go down from a dive, from now a single Venomal. It doesn't feel good. He's like, watch this. All right, nice job. Good response there. Love to see it.
Really good readaptation of focus here from FlashFire, realizing that Light was running rampant in that last map. It was very much more an open map, but they have kind of stuck together a lot more on this take this time.
Yeah, this is a tough map to play Spider-Man and Venom on, too. A lot of close corridors. We just saw it right there. Not a lot of room to escape. Another channeling the Cooper-tastic there. Getting down Light. Big pick there. Spark Chief, this is a good answer. We knew the Wolverine would be a good answer to the Venom here, and we're seeing it come to light. We've got plenty of firepower on both sides here, but, I mean, FlyQuest has the ultimate to get the job done if they can get back and reset.
Yeah, I mean, we have Zelos, Light also having theirs. We're getting very close to the rest of the tanks here, but now it looks like they want to go in.
Yep, here it is. We got the Arm and Danger Stickett going with the Kraken Impact, trying to get something rolling for his team, get the confidence up. We've got Yang going with the instant fate of both worlds, keeping the team alive. Energy has his ready to go, but he's going to fall to S76, which is going to have the team yet again have to reset. 60%. Listen, the dive is working on the other map. This is just such a tough map to get that comp done.
I do wonder when they try to adapt focus, if they do end up trying to change this composition right now, because FlashFire, they've already gotten almost 3/4 of the way to that point, and maybe trying to push this one to a map 3.
Yeah, no, I mean, they're doing a good job here with the response and the counters. Light, you're trying to get something rolling on Metagross. Can he get? Nope. Bubble's going to protect him from that web, but he can look to get Stick It. That's been his main opponent. No, it's going to be healed, and the instant delete key as Metagross does the same to Energy. The trades are happening, but one strat just down, and Energy brought back.
And Stos is just trying to chase after them, but unfortunately they're just too mobile for him. Metagross gets a nice double there as it's S76 getting a couple KOs here too. Gets the steal away. And look at this. FlashFire. They're pushing them to overtime. They're back on the point. They're looking to go the distance.
Yeah, he would go with the We Are Venom now, not on just one, but on multiple. But nope, S76, a quick slice, a quick dice, and down goes the Symbiote Madness. Now, this was interesting ultimate from Cooper, but here we go. Everyone's here. They're going to portal in. They planned this perfectly, actually. What do we know? As the fight commences here, there's a lot on the line. Did the 3-0 happen? Look at the overtime. It's just a speck. It's one person stepping off the point, and the cap is theirs. Can they respond? Sparky, though, getting the elimination on S76. Zealous bringing back Gaskin. You know he wants some more. He's close to that Ibogamoto. Metagross, though, with the response.
That's it. Maybe they can actually push this one out, though. Look at the point take. Gaskin is going down, and FlashFire. They'll move us to map 3 here.
All right. Okay. I see ya. That was great job with FlashFire.
Respect.
Yeah, you know, I like that FlyQuest. I think they knew it was gonna be tough to play dive in there, and they were like, you know what, we're staying on what we have. This map's gonna be, you know what though, this map is not much better. This is very close to. This is another tough indoor map for them, and you know I think they're fine.
Are they dropping ego? No, they're not gonna drop. They're gonna keep going with the ego.
Yeah, he's too close to the ultimate, man. He's like, I'm not giving up this 96%.
You see how much damage I can do with that ultimate? I'm not giving it up.
Bro, does that ever happen to you in your matches when like someone needs to switch but they're like 97?
The sunk cost fallacy.
Yeah, right. And then you're like, well, if you switch later, it's over. And then you got like 4 Vanguards. It's all bad. But yeah, let's see if they can really bring back the counter picks. Obviously work, and look at the ultimates they can open up with here. The Kraken Impact. They need to know when the last time FlyQuest ulted is so that they can absolutely stomp on this first battle, which gives them a huge edge.
Yeah, and we're getting really close for even more. At least as Metagross very close to his Meteor of M as well. I'm really looking at FlyQuest, but more in specific Light, to continue having that impact on Spider-Man or switch off. That was the biggest difference maker on map 1. Has been a little bit quiet since then.
Yeah, we'll see if he goes and dives in right away, does a little bit spectacular spin, and then goes back out and changes picks. We'll have to see and look at. He doesn't even get the chance to do so. I mean, Stick It really just changing it up. When it's indoors, it's Stick It. When it's outdoors, it's Light. We've seen it time after time. BRB being used on Light there. Light cannot see the light of day. The darkness is just absolutely closing them in. And again, this first battle is going to go to FlashFire, and they didn't even have to use Stick It's ultimate until right now. Actually, they're going to be doing that. We're at the very end here.
I know what they did between games. They got them a bunch of pairs of sunglasses. That's what the difference is in FlashFire right now. And we are seeing that difference played out a little bit more here as they have captured the point preemptively and are pushing the buttons of FlyQuest.
Yeah, they are pushing buttons. I gotta tell you, listen, Nick here says it best. Ants, boots, and the boot stumps the bug, and down goes Spider-Man often here. But now we've got the spectacular spin, not getting the finish, but Energy able to get the job done. S7 going in with the Berserker Rage, but he goes down in return. This is gonna be the turn of the tide here that has been all momentum for FlashFire, and finally, it looks like that FlyQuest can at least put down the fire and flame for at least one part of the match here.
It seemed like they just entered into that composition from FlashFire and kind of separated them apart. And that's what this composition can really pull off, is that separation of standardized setup that FlashFire were trying to go for now. But the retake is going to be difficult with their comp now.
Yeah, especially with the momentum here for the ultimates that they're going to have. FlyQuest has a lot of their sleeve here. Nice Magneto bubble to protect Venom. One of the best comps we've been seeing is this Venom, and this Magneto gives you a lot of pressure, a lot of mistakes you can make because of the protection energy here with the Kraken in back. Everybody's together. You might as well go in on that now. Light is also gonna get knocked out with a double punch up. The uppercut of a lifetime from Spider-Man.
We wanted him to step up, and here he is. He doesn't have his spectacular spin, but he still makes the spin over a FlashFire. And they just get knocked up. Are they out of there too? Oh my God! They're pushing them off the edge here, Cozy.
Oh my goodness. At first you got the Mike Tyson to shame uppercuts out to the push off the environment, the disrespect. Love to see it.
Three of them.
The absolute beauty. Nice readjustment here from FlyQuest, and look at what they have up their arsenal here. Energy, Spark Chief, the Venom and Spider alone could team wipe.
Yeah, and you have to remember, this is FlashFire's life here. If they lose another round, they are done in the MRC, and FlyQuest know that all too well. All the pressure on both these squads, but definitely more on FlashFire to keep this stream alive.
They need the energy, but unfortunately he plays for their other team, and right now it's looking rough as Light's going in. Trying to get the dive, got it on Loki earlier. Yeah, he's got the flank and the ultimate. We're going to have to see. This is going to be, this is about to get ugly. You're about to see a lot of Spider, a lot of symbiote mess clash together. Once enemies, now friends. Venom, Spider-Man, and the ultimates come together for one glorious team wipe. Right now it's held back as we do get a nice counter of the thing.
We got stopped.
Wow, and Light escapes there.
He tried to go in with the ultimate there, but it immediately got stopped. Now you see in the inside, we got the double dance pop.
And there it is, the symbiote. We are Venom into energy, not Spider-Man, but the Kraken going down with the three-piece. And this is going to be the swan song of FlashFire meeting its ultimate elements, water, which is FlyQuest. It's a full fly zone, and it's the match. There it is, 3-0 FlyQuest, and moving away from elimination as we say goodbye to FlashFire.
Oh man, they gave them a run for their money so many times. The fact that we even got this third map to be pushed to 3 feels really good for FlashFire. And you'd have to think what would happen if FlyQuest didn't take that early loss and be in this lower bracket, what this FlashFire team could have done with a little bit more room to grow. But that is a dominant victory from FlyQuest and what we'd expect from this top tier team in this lower bracket run that they've been on.
Yeah, from losses, you learn from your mistakes, you get better, and they lost to a really good team. So great job. You can hold your head up high and know that you did it. You know, you did a good job as a unit. And I thought that they did show up pretty well all of those matches, even though it was 3-0. They did good. They showed the fight that they do have, and now they can continue to build on that. And for FlyQuest, they get to advance into a potential pretty crazy heavyweight matchup. We've got a lot of fun things to come. Let me tell you, we experienced a lot of what this first round is, and going from that 16 to 8, there's going to be a lot of storylines. What has been your favorite thus far leading into our next rounds here?
I think 100 Thieves' domination is obviously something everybody wants to talk about. For me, it was the kind of stalwartness of Shroud X. I know everybody was a little bit down on this team coming into the MRC because of that invitational performance, but it definitely seems like there has been just a come up of their energy, of the way that they approach, and the positivity around this team. So that's been my favorite so far, but yeah, everybody loves a good lower bracket run, so I think FlyQuest is in there too. Yeah,
I'm telling you, play's just different when elimination is up for grabs, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed everything from this round. We have a lot to come, but first, let's relive a little bit of the magic from FlyQuest and check out the highlights.